Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're diving straight into the hidden reason your lawn might be struggling, and it is operating right under your nose. You know the drill. You put in the hours, you drag the hose around every single weekend, yet something just isn't right. Let's uncover exactly what's going wrong here.
It is incredibly frustrating, right? You do absolutely everything by the book, yet you still see those stubborn brown patches spreading across your yard. Now, you might assume your grass just needs a bit more water or maybe a different fertilizer, but honestly, most of the time the problem isn't a lack of resources at all, which is exactly why we need to investigate this invisible barrier that is literally choking your grass out of existence.
Section 1. The Hidden Killer.
You guys have probably heard of thatch, but let's actually look at its anatomy for a second. It's essentially a slow decomposing sponge made entirely of organic debris, just a super dense mix of dead and living grass stems, roots, and rhizomes. The real danger here? It's camouflage. It hides in plain sight, sandwiched right there between the green vegetation on top and the actual soil surface underneath.
Section 2. Good thatch versus bad thatch.
Half an inch. Honestly, that is the magic number. Just half an inch is the critical diagnostic measurement that determines if your lawn is part of a healthy, functioning ecosystem or if it is currently under a complete hostile takeover.
See, when that organic layer is less than half an inch thick, it's actually a really good thing. It acts like a protective shield. It insulates the soil temperature, it reduces evaporation, and it provides a nice, bouncy cushion. But the moment it crosses that half-inch mark, its whole nature flips. It transforms into this impenetrable wall, completely blocking water and nutrients, and basically creating a five-star resort for lawn pests.
So how do you know where your yard stands? Well, you can easily play detective right in your own backyard by following 3 simple steps. First, grab a common kitchen knife or a flathead screwdriver and firmly cut straight down through the green grass right into the soil. Second, pull that little cross-section apart slightly and look for that brown, spongy layer sitting right above the visible dirt. Third, just take a ruler and measure its thickness. If that brown sponge is thicker than half an inch, well, you officially have a thatch problem.
Moving right along to Section 3. How thatch destroys lawns.
The damage here is seriously multi-layered. First off, it literally blocks water from reaching the soil. When you run your sprinklers, the water just sits on top of this thick thatch and evaporates right back into the air instead of soaking down into the root zone where it belongs. Second, it completely prevents your expensive nutrients, fungicides, and fertilizers from ever reaching the soil. What a waste, right? Third, this damp, spongy environment is the absolute perfect hiding place for pests like grubs and disease organisms. And finally, and this is a big one, because all the water and nutrients get trapped up high in the thatch layer, it promotes incredibly shallow root systems. Grass roots are, well, kind of lazy. They'll just grow right into the thatch instead of digging deep into the soil. As a result, your lawn becomes entirely dependent on you constantly watering it, and it gets highly vulnerable to sudden heat stress and drought.
Section 4. Surprising causes of thatch.
Ironically enough, we are usually our own worst enemies here. The primary causes of thatch are actually overwatering and over-fertilizing with fast-release nitrogen. These aggressive practices basically force your grass to produce organic matter way faster than nature can break it down. Meanwhile, the biggest lawn care myth out there, the idea that leaving short grass clippings on your lawn causes thatch, is completely false. Clippings are mostly just water anyway, and they actually return really healthy organic matter right back to your soil, so don't bag them.
Besides our own, overparenting with the hose and the fertilizer spreader, nature has its own sneaky way of accelerating the problem. Fungal diseases can actually act as an accomplice here by throwing off the natural balance of decomposition. When a fungal disease strikes, it kills off the grass plants at an incredibly rapid pace, way faster than the natural environment can decompose that dead tissue. So it just adds right to that thick, spongy barrier.
All right, Section 5. The ultimate thatch cure.
The main solution here is a physical process called dethatching. Depending on the size of your property, you'll need the right surgical tool to physically slice through the barrier and pull that debris right up to the surface. If you have a relatively small lawn, you can just use a specialized dethatching rake. Now, this isn't your normal, everyday leaf rake. It has these heavy, sharp tines designed to aggressively slice into the thatch and rip it upward. But if you have a larger lawn, do yourself a favor and save your back. You will definitely want to rent a power dethatcher, which is sometimes called a vertical mower. It uses motorized blades to do all that heavy slicing and pulling for you.
But wait, before you start up that machine, timing is literally everything.
Dethatching is a very traumatic procedure for your lawn, so you absolutely must perform it when your specific type of grass is actively growing. That way it can recover quickly from the stress. If you live in a northern climate with cool season grasses, your best time to dethatch is in the early fall. But if you live in a southern climate with warm season grasses, you really should aim to do this in the late spring to early summer.
Okay, so once you finish ripping out the thatch, fair warning, your lawn is going to look a bit beaten up. Don't panic, it's totally normal. Just follow this exact 4-step recovery plan, which is non-negotiable if you want to nurse your grass back to full, vibrant health. Step 1, rake up and physically remove all of that pulled up debris from the lawn. Step 2, water the lawn deeply to encourage the roots to reach down into the newly exposed soil. Step 3, apply a light fertilization just to give the grass the energy it desperately needs to heal. And Step 4, keep all foot traffic completely off the grass for a few weeks while it recovers.
Now, to build this into a truly comprehensive strategy, pairing your dethatching with aeration creates a phenomenal 1-2 punch. While dethatching pulls that suffocating layer out, aeration actually punches holes straight into the ground. This breaks up any remaining thatch and opens up that dense soil to let air and water penetrate deeply. Together, they basically reset your lawn's biological clock.
Once you've done all this hard work, you want to keep that thatch from coming back, right? So, commit to annual aeration, shift your habits to proper, deep, infrequent watering, and utilize controlled, measured fertilizing. Maintaining this biological balance ensures that thatch never becomes a hidden killer in your yard again.
We've covered the science, the symptoms, and the cure. Now, the ball is entirely in your court. So what is hiding just beneath the surface of your lawn? Armed with this knowledge, I want you to take a screwdriver outside right now, press it into your grass, and find out if your lawn is secretly crying out for help. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and seriously, go inspect your yard today.